Hey guys, what's going on today? Bojo here, back again for some more NHL 17 news, and in today's video we are going to be breaking down the franchise mode trailer. And if you guys like to go in depth with your GM modes, this mode is probably going to be the game mode for you. Franchise mode obviously is the rehaul of GM mode this year, going as far as controlling your team's players, but also controlling your team's financial statuses from like budgets, marketing plans, costs, everything in and of the sort is going to be included in franchise mode this year. And honestly, from my first impressions from the trailer and off the news we got from the blog, this mode is looking extremely good. So let's start off by showing you guys the trailer. As per usual, we'll break it down, get some screenshots, go over the blog, and we'll take it from there. So here you go, guys, the NHL 17 franchise mode trailer.
What happens behind the scenes can mean just as much as what happens on the ice, and NHL 17's all-new franchise mode lets you control it all. Each team has an owner, each of which comes complete with their own unique personality and set of goals that you'll have to navigate over the course of a season. Franchise mode now gives you the capability to manage your whole operations budget and marketing plan as you work to complete goals and keep ownership happy. Find the sweet spot for ticket prices, concessions, merchandise, and even parking while keeping your franchise profitable and successful. As your fan base grows, so will your responsibilities, so be smart with your budgets. Upgrade facilities where needed, or set promotional dates for key games, including free t-shirt promotions and player bobblehead giveaways to keep fans smiling. Your decisions carry over into gameplay, so putting a solid product on the ice and making smart business decisions behind the scenes both play a major role in keeping your fans coming back, night in and night out. If you're looking to shake things up, you may have the option to relocate your franchise to a new market. If ownership approves relocation, choose from a list of select cities and weigh options that include stadium cost and city-aided funding, while taking a close look at market size and fan base to help zero in on the best fit for your franchise. Once you've negotiated the deal that works for you, lock in your location and drive the full creative direction of your new team uniforms and arena design. Whatever your game plan might be, NHL 17's franchise mode puts you in the center of all of the action, and there's no better feeling than seeing a successful team on the ice and a packed stadium full of fans on their feet.
Alright guys, so obviously all of that stuff look pretty damn awesome, and we're going to dive into the blog and go more in-depthly on each of the new features that will be shown in franchise mode. So I'm proud to pass on this year's blog will give you some insight into the large enhancement to our game modes feature set in all the time I've been on the team. And this is obviously Brian Krause is the one who's writing this blog. We've rebranded Be a GM to be franchise mode this year as we have added so much depth to the feature. It's not just about being a GM anymore. You're responsible for a whole range of new decisions that will add incredible depth and replayability to your gaming experience. So first off, we'll start with Know Your Owner. Each team has an owner, each of which comes complete with their own unique personality and set of goals that you'll have to navigate over the course of a season. An owner's personality is made up of three specific characters, or characterizes: spending, importance of success, and patience. So spending, this determines the size of your budget. The higher the rating, the more you will have to spend on player personnel, marketing, stadium upgrades, and more. Importance of success, this determines whether your ownership group prioritizes winning or making a profit. Owners who have a high importance of success rating will set more team performance goals rather than profit-related goals. And then patience. This determines how long of a leash you'll have before your ownership group starts to question your management abilities. A high patience rating will allow managers to develop prospects with the hope of creating a dominant team in a few years. A low patience rating may force you to make personnel moves to help you win now. And just by going over that, I could tell that the Philadelphia Flyers are definitely a patience team right now. But I don't know if every single team when you start up a new GM mode will have each of these randomized, or if each NHL team will have those specific spending, importance of success, and patience ratings fixed in the game, or if it's just going to be random every time. I think it would be cool if it was random every time. Next up, once you select your team, you'll quickly meet the owner and be given a list of expectations/goals for the coming year. Owner goals will be tiered by primary goals, secondary goals, and stretch goals. Completing primary goals should be every manager's major objective heading into the season, as your owner will judge your overall performance heavily on the outcome of your primary goal. Goals evolve over time as the league changes, and as your status within the league changes in relation to your opponents. If your team struggles for a few years in a row, you may get the make the round 2 of the playoffs rather than an expectation of winning it all. You can always jump into the owner goals menu to check the status of your goals and to see your owner's current happiness rating. Owner happiness is key to gain employment. Do things your owner wants you to do, stay within his intended budget, and meet his goal expectations, and you have a pretty good chance of keeping your job over the duration of your contract. Below is a snippet of what we factor into the owner's happiness tool. I don't want to go over with that with you guys because it's like a Windows window pretty much of like just all the stats, and it's really in depth of how like certain numbers are keyed into each little statistic and shows you like the probability of this happening or that happening. If you guys want to go check it out, I'll leave the link for the whole blog in the description down below. Next up, GM firing. You can now get fired partway through your existing contract if the owner's patience attribute is low enough and his happiness with your performance is low. Obviously, the more patient the owner, the leeway he will have when it comes to failure or a long-term vision. But the low happiness of the owner can cause you to get fired regardless of how patient he may be otherwise. Furthermore, the happiness of your owner at the time of your last contract expiry or firing will dictate the quantity and quality of teams that will vie for your services. Now, I'm a little bit worried about that. Why would they put that little specific snippet in the GM firing if in every previous iteration of the NHL game you could turn off, or GM firing you could turn off? It does make me a little bit worried. Is the option for turning off GM firing going to still be in the game? If not, I'm going to be a little bit worried going into the NHL 17 for the guys that really like to mess around and just experiment with the mode. So that's going to be really interesting if you can still turn that off or not. But hopefully we will get some more information on that. Arena and facilities. Set prices. Your main source of ticket revenue in NHL 17 franchise mode is through the sales of season tickets, game tickets, concessions, merchandise, and parking. Monitor the team's fortunes over the course of the year to ensure that the price set is still within the recommended range. If you fail to change within the recommended range, you'll receive negative feedback and attendance can drop. Upgrade and maintain. You may upgrade your concessions, team store, parking lot, and club seats to a maximum of 5 levels. Each level gains you access to new features and sellable items. Each of these items also has a maintenance level, which will decline as you have home games. Keeping these locations in tip-top shape is integral to fan happiness, as nobody will want to buy food in an arena with overflowing bathrooms. Duly noted. Arena customization. As you progress through franchise mode, you'll be given the option to improve your stadium through arena customization. From here, you'll be able to improve everything from the architectural design of your stadium to the in-arena presentation of music, special effects, scoreboards, and lighting. Team rankings and sales. Use this menu option to see where your team stacks up against other clubs in the NHL. Compare the revenue you generate as well as ticket, concession, merchandise, and parking sales. And before we go any further, if that is a hot dog, for God's sakes, you cannot buy that kind of hot dog at the Wells Fargo Center. And if it's a cheesesteak, this guy should be brutally hit because he put ketchup and probably some green peppers on that thing. I don't know, man. Cheese, meat, and onions. That's all you need. Damn it. Dynamic attendance. How many fans come to your stadium to watch games will now be determined by a number of factors. It will take into account the current time of the season, preseason versus first round of the playoffs, quality of opponent, ticket pricing, team performance, the prestige of home team, fan base loyalty, market size, season ticket purchases, and more. Going on a winning streak will bring in more casual fans. Having a hardcore fan base will minimize fans deciding not to show up if you're on a losing streak. Having a high-profile team or a division rival can bring in extra walk-up fans, but playing against a basement dweller in the standings or pricing your tickets too high can drive away potential attendees. Next up is relocation. If you're having trouble filling the seats, it may be time to relocate your franchise to a new market. If ownership approves relocation, choose from a list of 19 cities and weigh options that include stadium cost and the city-aided funding, while taking a close look at the market size and fan base to help find the best fit for your franchise. Each of the 19 cities has a list of attributes that affect how likely your team is to succeed there, and it will take a different negotiating tack with you when you enter into negotiations to relocate them. Once you've negotiated the deal that works for you, lock in your location and drive the full creative direction of your new team uniforms and arena design through the arena customization and team customization. Budgets. Each team will receive a basic budget to adhere to based on the team's current status and owner attributes. Getting a big spender owner may give you lots of money to play with. Having a more financially conscience will give you less to play with, and also an expectation of potentially cutting player salaries. Each of the 4 budgets are used for specific areas of financial responsibilities you will now inherit. You will also receive a contingency fund that you can spend on non-player salary budgets, but keeping a big contingency is key to keeping some owners happy if they are concerned about making a profit. Promotions. After you have received the budgets for the year, it'll become your responsibility to spend money on promotions. Assigning promotions to your home games can help increase attendance and boost revenues by bringing in more paying customers. Time your promotions for the right opponent can help maximize your chances for a sellout game, for sellouts in games that might otherwise get a full crowd. Second season ticket drive is the last one here, guys. And regardless of whether you get fired or not, you'll have to kick off a season ticket drive in early March. You will now be responsible for setting initial prices for the drive. During the season ticket drive, you will receive updates periodically letting you know how many people have bought tickets and now how many tickets are still left for sale. As always, the key to selling your season tickets is to set your prices to meet customer expectations as closely as possible. Failure to set your prices will leave your arena attendance to the whims of walk-up customers who are far more susceptible to the ebb and flow of the team's fortunes. So as you guys can see, they went very, very in depth with this mode this year. Extremely in depth. I mean, from last year's GM mode, what could you do? All you did was control the team. Now you have full control over the team, and what you can do this year is honestly mind-blowing in this mode. Like it's pretty ridiculous, from like everything that I just showed you guys about, like budgets, promotions, like season ticket drives, and like relocating your franchise, keeping up with facilities and making sure your prices are all good and fluctuating them throughout the year. Like you have to pay close attention to your schedule and to who the opponents you play so that you can set these prices accordingly. It's pretty damn ridiculous, guys, so that what you can do in franchise mode this year is honestly really ridiculous. So I showed you guys some screenshots throughout the thing. Just going to go over some of the more screenshots that we did see in the trailer once again. Obviously, just some of the new things, just going over a couple things that are repeated. Obviously, the owner goals. I'm glad to see that screen is going to be making a return once again, where it'll show the overall owner's happiness through a graph throughout the weeks of the season. It shows the state of the team, the owner goals. Obviously, the owner goals will be different for every team that you pick, but I'm still wondering, if you pick the same team, will the owner goals still be the same, or will the state of the team be different? That's what I'm really hoping for, is that it's going to be really, really random every time you pick a different team. Even if you pick the same team, I'm still wondering how it'll do. Once again, the operations budget allocation, I showed you guys that already, but the fact that you can put your money into certain places for this, for your franchise is really awesome. Obviously, putting the money in the right places, and then how you choose your percentages on like advertising for marketing, which is absolutely ridiculous. As you guys can see here, owner goals evaluated. I'll probably be at the end of the year. You can still see that the player morale will go up. And this is what I really like in franchise mode, where I showed you guys this already, for setting prices. I like the fact that they give you recommended prices, because that was one thing I was scared of. Like, if they were going to tell you to put the prices for certain seats and concession prices and things like that, I was worried that you were just going to have to make these like oddball up in the air. I'm glad that they put recommended prices in there, like to keep you in a certain range, but you can obviously vary that up as much as you can. It seems like you do have free range to vary it up as best as possible. Obviously, concessions, and as they mentioned, the more you upgrade your team and the better levels you get in certain areas. You can unlock new things for concessions. I'm wondering if there'll be like certain season ticket things or certain concessions that are specific to markets, like for Philadelphia, for example. Maybe it'll be, instead of like chicken strips, it'll show like Philly cheesesteaks and things like that. It'll be interesting to see if like concessions get varied around throughout the league. Once again, merchandise, I think is cool that you can vary it up with the jerseys as well. They pretty much took like the hut cards into account there for the jersey, so you can actually having that out there pretty cool, which is nice. Once again, all the prices, it shows how many were sold, and obviously that fan feedback at the bottom too with the Calgary Flames. I was close to picking up a Calgary Flames TJ Brody t-shirt kids, but I feel it's just a bit too pricey. You see, it gives you guys fan feedback on certain things for certain t-shirt items. That's cool. And this is, every single thing here is going to change, obviously, for merchandise. If you trade players or if you sign players in free agency, new things are going to constantly pop up in these areas, and it's honestly just really, really awesome. Same thing with parking. It shows you guys like averages on parking. It gives you guys a balance sheet of what your balance was for the year, and you know how you can change it up and compare it throughout the entire league. Once again, the upgrade and maintain areas to keeping your arena in tip-top shape. The promotions night, which is good. You might want to select those promotions on lower end games so that you can get a bigger audience to come to those games. So like I said, if your team is going to be playing somebody who's down at the bottom of the NHL, you might want to consider making one of those games like a promotions night so that you can get some more people into those games, especially like weekday games like Tuesdays and Thursdays. From my personal experience, I've always seen that a lot of NHL tickets are mainly very, very cheap on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so you might want to consider putting some special events or promotions during those nights, especially if you're playing not so great teams. But if you want to really bump up those, really try to get a sellout crowd, maybe like a division rival, putting it on a weekday game or a weekend game would obviously really, really bump that up. Once again, relocation, obviously you can do that. We talked about relocation a lot. And you also have to offer up the city's wants as well. You can vary up the city negotiation as much as possible and setting certain percentages of what the city's price is asking for, but then you can vary it up as best as you can in order to accommodate for the city. And then you can go into the creation zone as we saw in the beta, designing it as best as you possibly can. And in this trailer too, we saw a couple of the new like celebrations for like milestones in the BIA Pro, but hopefully we'll be getting a lot more of that in like the BIA Pro trailers later in the coming weeks. But franchise mode is looking very, very nice this year. I can't wait to dive into it this year. It's going to be extremely in depth. It's going to be, you can do whatever you want, basically. That's what I like about franchise mode this year is the puck is in I guess the puck is on your ice. To sound cliche as best as I possibly can, the puck is in your ice and you have free range to do whatever you want with franchise mode this year. And that's what I like. That's what I like about NHL 17 for this year, for this mode. And give me it, please. Just give me this game already. I want to play franchise mode so bad. So let me know what you guys think of the improvements to GM mode becoming franchise mode this year, the crazy amount of depth that it has, and let me know what your favorite part about the news that I revealed to you guys about franchise mode, and what are you most looking forward to, or what do you still want to know about franchise mode that hasn't been revealed through this blog or the trailer yet. Let me know down in the comments. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys next time for some more NHL 17 news.